Also known as Diamond Dave, the founder of the highest paid part-time jobs on the World Options Training Academy. Let's do this really quick technical analysis breakdown of Royal Caribbean, and I'm gonna kind of show you what I'm looking at and what I would encourage people to look at if they kind of wanted to understand where the price action was taking this particular stock price. And what we're seeing is that Royal Caribbean and a lot of the other cruise lines, also a lot of the airlines, were dealing with some selling pressure because of the high price of oil. So oil has really spiked up. Futures contracts have spiked up. And as a result, people are less optimistic about the future of these particular operations. And one of the reasons is because they use fuel or gas to operate their ships. And if the cost of gas is going to be more expensive, especially as we go into the future, it's going to really put a lot of stress on their revenues, because then what they're going to probably have to do is turn that cost over to the customer, or they're going to have to eat the cost, one of the two, which could put a lot of stress on their balance sheet, which could put a lot of stress on their ability to return equity back to their stockholders. And this could be something that may be long term. So there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of anxiety in the market. And what I want to show you is that I have put contracts on Royal Caribbean. However, if you're trading this, there's a way in which I would look at it, and I'm gonna just show you how I would look at it, and then you can take something from it, you can implement it to your program, or it might not be any benefit to you, but I want to kind of show you how I would look at it, because what a lot of people, when they're looking at technical analysis, they're looking for something that's going to be very specific, and a lot of times what you're looking for is ranges, and I think they don't understand that, and because they don't really truly understand technical analysis. And when you really understand it, you're not always looking for a specific number. People say, well, where's your entry at? Well, my entry on options contracts is going to always be at the money or in the money, unless there's an extenuating circumstance. And I would only recommend that to experienced traders. If you're a novice trader, which means you've been trading under a year, I would always encourage you to trade in the money or at the money. That's not investment advice. That's just what I did, and that's what allowed me to become successful. So what I'm looking at really quickly, I'm going to show you, is I'm looking at Royal Caribbean on the yearly chart, and I'm gonna show you where I'm seeing the support at. So let me go ahead and draw a line here. I don't want the purple. Let's try this yellow. And do I want a line? Is that gonna give me what I want? No, I don't want that. That's gonna be undo. Let me get something else. Let me get a horizontal line. Okay, so let me show you what I'm looking for. Let me get my line up. What I'm looking for is around, let's say, the mid to high 60s is where I'm seeing support. And so what I'm seeing is, as I zoom in more, is we get here and we're starting to get buyers come back in. They believe that the price is cheap. We get around here and buyers start to come back in because they believe the price is cheap. They start moving the price back up. We get here again, and we see that buyers believe that the price is cheap, and they start to move the price back up. So what I'm looking at is like in the mid to high 60s, low 70s, people start to believe that Royal Caribbean is inexpensive. They like that price of the stock, and they start to come back in to buy it up. That's on the daily candles on the yearly chart. So when I'm looking at it this morning, right, we come out of the market. So let me go to the 1 day. We come out. What I'm looking for is, do we start getting buyers around this price? Let me zoom back in. So we're looking at the 1 minute candles. So we're under the support, but I'm looking at, do buyers start to come back in, right, around the mid to high 60s? So what we started getting was some early, right, buying on the 1 minute candles, right? Then that fatigued and it dropped back under that last support on the 1 minute candles on daily. So what I'm seeing is that people still believe that the price now is high at those points. So going back to the yearly, what we're seeing that is that we're now under the support, right? Let me zoom back out. We're under that support now. Now we've been there before because we've been there here. We've also been there here. However, if we start getting to around $60, right, we're looking for our next support to be maybe in the 50s. So we get under 60, we're looking for our next support to maybe be around the $49, $50 mark. Okay. And so that's what I want people to understand, is that when you're looking at a particular ticker, I historically try to find out over the yearly, where did the buyers start to come in at? Where did what called a supply zone? And normally people look at a supply zone, where you got the red bars, you got to get the next so many consecutive bars, got to be green after that last red bar. I don't necessarily do it that way. My attitude is that on the yearly, where do I see buyers start coming in at? Okay. And this is the yearly on the daily. Now we can change this and go to the weekly, right? Go to the weekly and you see something similar where we see the buyers start to come in here. We see the buyers start to come in here. We see the buyers start to come in here, right? So now what we want to continue to observe, because on the weekly we can get a change because it could trade red today and tomorrow, and then the rest of the week pick back up because, like I said, maybe the oil price starts to rebound back. However, I'm always trying to figure out historically, where do I see the buyers start to come in at? And then my thing is that it has to be something that's going to be extenuating or outside of those normal conditions to make people want to keep selling this down. Because what we saw before and what we saw is that around the mid 60s, low 70s, buyers start to come in. So we go back to the daily. What we want to see is that we just get continuation of the sell-off, right? Do we get continuation of the sell-off? So we get higher highs and lower lows. So we're seeing on the 1 minute, they're starting to print at the 65.22. Do we continue to get another sell-off? That we can go to, let's say, the 15-minute candles, right? On the 15 minutes, do we just keep getting lower prints as we go down? Because if we go to the 5-day, this is the 5-day. So what we get is we just keep laddering down. And now, why is this the reason? Because gas prices are high. So now you can trade this purely technical, but that's not what I normally do. Because I don't want to be looking at, is there a green candle after the red candle and I need to get this subsequently green? I don't even understand how to do any of that. I have a fundamental analysis based on what's going on from a macroeconomic standpoint, which we know what is going on from a macroeconomic standpoint. Then how is that impacting the overall sector and the industry? And how is that impacting that individual company? And does the company management have any kind of solution to the problem? Royal Caribbean has not come out and said, well, this is how we're going to deal with this high cost of gas. Nobody has said anything. I don't think you can do anything about it. Like everybody else, you just got to pay it. Therefore, we understand how this can impact, right, their future revenues, especially if this gas price stays elevated, even though I don't think the gas price is going to stay elevated, right? I think it's going to top out and then it's going to dump really, really hard because we can't operate with gas prices being this high for a consistent period of time. I don't think this economy can take it. Okay, so want to give everybody a heads up on that. If you got any questions, hit me up in the comments. This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. I'll talk to you later.